ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
INCROWD 815 INCROWD 815 INCROWD 815 INCROWD 815 815.
I'm telling you, Tom, the fact that Leap Day is not some sort of holiday, talk about a huge miss. Come on, people. What's up with that? Should be a holiday.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, what? Where are you going with this? Should be a holiday. Okay.
Should be a holiday. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is the INCROWD 815 podcast for the second day of March, the year 2024, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind.
And you made it. Congratulations. We got a big show lined up for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So give them a little elbow nudge and say, hey, wake up. Greg and Tom are on, and you should be listening to this right now. Okay. Whether you're watching us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or maybe even on the Instagram. I'm curious.
Person sleeping next to me today is Mr. Tiger. Hey, say hi.
Is that Bengal Tiger? Is that Cincinnati Tiger?
I call him Cincy. That's his name.
Cincy the Bengal?
Yeah.
All right.
Cincy the Bengal. All right.
Welcome,
Get out of here.
Cincy.
What are you hitting yourself for? What do you
try to be quiet? We have guests today, Cincy. We have guests.
You'll be fine.
I'm curious if anybody's watching us live on Instagram. I think we're live. Let me double check on Instagram. It doesn't work every time it's a new feature from Restream. Maybe that's what screwed us up last Saturday. I don't know.
Maybe that's what it is.
That should have been my tip last week that things were not going well, is when the Instagram thing didn't go live. It's live right now. My ask is, if you're on the Instagram, you're following INCROWD 815, please comment on that during the show today, because I want to see if I can see that on my screen. I see the comments from our YouTube stream, and I see the comments from our LinkedIn stream. And I see the comments from our one Facebook page, which is the INCROWD 815 podcast Facebook page. See, Julie's already commenting on the Facebook stream, and that works. See how that works? Isn't that cool?
Yep.
So that works. So that's cool.
And,
go ahead.
Well, just a point of anybody who says, what's wrong with that guy? How many stuffed animals does he have? 1,000? No, I don't have 1,000 stuffed animals.
It's about 1,177.
You're probably close. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Let's do this before we get too long in the tooth here.
That's
Before we get too taken away, big number of the week time. Our current race to 10 has Tom leading by a score of 1-0. Tom did win the last race to 10, and I owe Tom a meal. Let's go to this big number this week. Oh, Tom's going to be so disappointed. It's not very big. 528.
Wow, 528.
We often have numbers in the millions and billions and trillions, but today it's
that's
5.
Not even the amount of U.S. senators and congressmen combined.
That was a trivia question on Thursday night.
It was. Now I can't ask it. Can I? Well, I still could.
We got that right. I didn't give the answer. 528. This week's answer is wedding or Wendy's. Wedding or Wendy's. What do you think the big number of the week is about? Tell us in the comments. And if you'd like to even be a little bit creative, make up a little story about what you think that big number might have to do with something. I believe there's 528 Wendy's restaurants in the state of Texas. I don't know. That's not the answer, but
wait, hold on then.
The most people ever in a wedding party was 528 people. That'll be a Guinness Book of World Records or something maybe, but that's not the answer either. Put it in the comments. We'd love to hear your made up story. All right. How we doing? All right.
I said it's
5 minutes. I warned the ladies it would take us about 5 minutes to set up the show. So Julie, Hannah, I'm bringing you on the screen, and welcome to the INCROWD 815 podcast. How are you ladies today?
Hi, Greg. Hi, Tom. Great.
Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen. And Julie, of course. I'm super happy to be on here talking to you guys about this. Really excited for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for carving out time to be on with us today. Here's what I'm going to do. I've got your logo right up there in the corner of the screen right now, Julie.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have over on the left-hand side, I'm going to switch places with you guys and put the Rivets logo up there.
Nice.
Right up next to your head, Julie, on the screen is a QR code. And if those who are watching today would like to donate to the United Way of Rock River Valley, they can go to that QR code and go right to your donation page and find out what you guys are up to and how to donate to what you do.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, for people who, we're going to get into why people should donate and volunteer with the United Way coming up. But before we get into anything else, we want to learn a little bit about you, Julie. We're going to put you on the spot first. Tell us all where you grew up, where you went to high school, and how you found yourself. A mini resume, your career arc, how you ended up at the United Way of Rock River
A
Valley.
mini resume. Well, I'll just do that in like 10 minutes. So no.
There you go.
I'm a Midwest girl. I've lived all around the Midwest, was born in Michigan, but ended up in St. Louis actually, and went to high school at Lutheran South. If there's any Lancers on, go Lancers. Grew up there, and then ended up in Indiana, going to Valparaiso University, which is a Lutheran college or a Lutheran university in Indiana. And then our family had lived in Rockford when I was little. And after grad school, I went to NIU for grad school. I was looking for a job, knew I wanted to be in the nonprofit sector. And I was living in the suburbs with my folks. And it was like, either I want to be downtown Chicago or way out, like by my friends in Rockford. So long story short, I ended up in Rockford and just have been here since 89 and really love this community.
That's pretty cool. Your story and mine is not too unsimilar. I found myself in Rockford starting to work here in 1990.
Oh, okay.
And moved here in 92. I was commuting from a little bourbon, Wisconsin called Broadhead. Have you ever been to Broadhead, Wisconsin?
One of my dearest friends and her husband live in Broadhead.
That's I had a little house on 7th Street in Broadhead that I lived in for a couple of years and was commuting back and forth.
Cool.
First to Monroe because I worked for this thing called Swiss Colony for a short stint.
Heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, Swiss Colony. Dobosh torts, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never tried a Dobosh tort, you are missing out. And then, of course, I started working in Rockford first, part-time on the radio and full-time at a little place called Big Sur Waterbeds.
Wow.
I remember that.
Out on
Big
East
Sur
State
Waterbeds.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Big Sur Waterbeds out of the same city where the United Way was founded back in 1800 something or other.
Denver, huh? Okay.
We had some pre-show conversation, folks. I'm not spitting these facts out of my brain randomly. But so you find yourself here in Rockford in 88, 89 range there. And the jobs that you had in Rockford first, were they involved in similar things to like the United Way?
Yeah, I came to work. I worked for the Rock River Valley Pantry for a couple of years, Children's Home and Aid Society. And then I landed at RAMP, which serves individuals with disabilities. And I was there for 28 years. And kind of a tough story in 2020, my mom, both my parents were having a lot of issues. Anyway, my mom badly, and I ended up leaving the job to take care of my mom. She ended up having brain cancer. And so then I was out of work during COVID, which was a little rough, but landed at the United Way and I couldn't be happier. It was definitely meant to be. It was God's plan that I would end up there. So
when you stepped down, is that when Jackie took over RAMP?
Yeah, there was somebody in between for a few months and it went south pretty quickly. I think I was talking to staff during that time, but yeah. And Jackie, when I was working there, that was always kind of what's going to be the plan. And so I'm really glad she's there. She's doing a great job and she's a fabulous lady.
We need to have her back on the show this year. She's been on the show before, and I actually helped her and her husband buy their house. 7 years ago now already.
Out at Westlake. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful lady there.
Yep.
All right. So now we know a little bit more about Julie. Let's find out about Hannah. Hannah, who in the world are you, and how did you find yourself in Rockford, Illinois?
So basically, I graduated from high school in 2019, and then in my freshman year of college is when COVID hit. and obviously switched up my whole game plan. But right before COVID hit, I found my passion for sports and found out that I could actually make a career out of it. So I decided, yep, like this is what I want to do. I want to make sure I'm going into work every day with really happy with what I'm doing. So then towards the end of my senior year for college, I went to Carthage College up in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Absolutely beautiful school on Lake Michigan. Big fan of it up there. Basically, I was job searching for months, essentially. I landed a couple job interviews. Nothing was really sticking. And then I saw a job opening for the Rockford Rivets, and I interned the previous summer for another team in the Northwoods League. So I kind of knew who the Rockford Rivets were, what we're kind of selling and everything like that, and the experience overall that I would expect. So I applied there. They said, this is new ownership. We're a brand new front office staff, and we're trying to rebuild the Rivets essentially. And they hired me on originally as an account executive. So I was just selling tickets originally. Then after the season was over, the owners and my general manager, Steve, talked to me during my review and said, hey, we think that you would be great as our director of community affairs and promotions. So yeah, I've been in this now I've been working for the Rivets for 9 months now, which is insane to me. This is the longest I've held a job instead of being like part-time at school, which is great.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, I love working for the Rivets, and I get to say that my office is a baseball stadium, which is pretty cool. So really happy about that.
Oh my goodness, that is cool. That is.
Thank you.
You are kind of living, you're in a way, you're kind of living the dream. A lot of people think about that way. So that's really cool. Where did you go to high school again?
I went to Wakanda High School out in Wakanda, Illinois.
Okay. So go Warriors. Who are the Wakanda?
Bulldogs, the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Wakanda Bulldogs. And were you involved in anything in the high school that was, what was your niche, I guess, in high school?
I was a theater and like fine arts kid for sure. I did all of the musicals that I did all the musicals, like 4 of them. I ended up doing, and then the way I found my passion for sports was I got to be a manager for the varsity men's track team. My friends came up to me and were like, hey, we're looking for a manager because we don't have any. Are you interested? And I said, oh, is it like a paid gig or whatever? They said, no, but you get a gym waiver, so you don't have to do gym for the rest of the year. And I said, sign me up. I'm in. So,
Wow.
so I got to coach through my second half of senior year, but I got to manage like over 100 different athletes, whether it was, their paperwork or turning in their timesheets or, even helping plan the trips and organizing food for everyone. I had an absolute blast, and I said, this is really cool. So if I could do this for the rest of my life, I definitely want to. And now I'm working for a baseball team, which is great. So
the only other 2 ways to get a gym waiver is to either have a broken leg or join ROTC. So yes, sign me up. There you go. With all due respect to ROTC, but they do get picked on a lot. Not by me. I would never pick on anybody. Well, I'll pick on Greg because he picked on me.
We could probably spend the next half hour just talking about the fact that even athletes in high school don't realize how important the managers are for the football team, the baseball team, the track team,
absolutely.
The managers.
Okay.
I mean, yes, we know the coaches, we know the athletes, but the manager's importance to the whole pieces of the puzzle there.
Okay, so before we go on, first of all, go Huskies. Yeah, baby. And I went to NIU for a short while when I had to get classes at NIU to graduate from Trinity College, which is where I got my undergrad. And then I went to Concordia, which is also on Lake Michigan, up a little ways. So that Lake Michigan campus, I don't care if it's the ABC School of Dancing or something, that type of campus on Lake Michigan with the rocks and the waves and everything, unbelievable. This miner's in Mequon, Wisconsin. Unbelievable. Yep. And by the way, Greg, you and I both know somebody that went to and graduated from Carthage College, and that would have been a few years ago. You probably don't know him, Spencer Jacobson.
He did go to Carthage.
He did.
Okay, that's right. I thought he went because Parkside is right there too in Kenosha, right? So that's another one of those just beautiful campuses a lot of my friends went to. And I grew up in southeastern Wisconsin, so I actually went to Muskego High School, Go Warriors, and went to UW Stoutway on the other end of the state because Dad wouldn't let me go to Arizona. But that's a whole other conversation.
Go Jayhawks.
And neither one of you are paid therapists, so we're not going to go there. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of what is happening with the United Way and the Rockford Rivets. Let me see if this looks good on the camera. Does this look good on the camera?
Yeah.
United Way presents Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. What's going on with this reading program, Julie? Fill us in on why you guys are tackling this as a big push this year.
Yeah, well, it's a push until the year 2034, actually. We, United Way, our role is to be a collaborator, a convener in the community. So our big push, right, our big initiative right now is childhood literacy. You guys might be stunned to know that only 32% of our children in third grade are reading at grade level. And if you can't read at grade level by the time you enter fourth grade, you are going to start to fall behind and 4 times more likely to drop out of school. So it really is a crisis in our community. And there's no finger pointing. We've all got our responsibilities here. But so our focus is that we want to increase that 32% up to 75% by the year 2034. So it's going to take everybody. We're United Way's leading the charge. We're convening the partners like the Rockford Rivets, which we're delighted to talk about today. We're funding our partner organizations. We're raising money, but it's going to take the whole community. And we've got 20 or 21,000 children 5 and under in this county. And right now they are all learning to read. And by the time you hit third grade, actually by the time you end third grade and you start to enter fourth grade, you are going to now need to read to learn. So you're going to stop learning words and phonics and all that kind of stuff. And now you've got to be able to read those history books and the social studies books and everything like that. So again, we just we're trying to tell everybody in the community about this. And we want people to obviously give, but also advocate, get involved. Everybody has children in their lives that need to read. It could be your own children. It could be grandchildren, nieces, nephews, your neighbor, people at church, people at school, people at work with children. So be sure that you're giving books to kids. Make sure that they have them. Just a side note, children who are living in low-income areas, about 1 in 300 have a book at home. So one of our things is to help children build their home library, and that is what Dolly Parton does. So Dolly Parton started this program, and Tom, you'll be disappointed in me. I don't remember the year, but she started this program, and she started it for her hometown in Tennessee, and it has grown, and it is now international. But she set up the process for affiliates like ourselves to pay for these books to be mailed to our children in our communities. So we pay half, and actually the state of Illinois just kicked in half this year. And every child who signs up, age 5 and under in our county, can get a book every month mailed straight to their home. It's age appropriate, and they will get them to their 5th birthday. So they will end up with a home library of 60 books, which is just blows my mind. That's so cool. But the other piece of that is just getting books doesn't change literacy rates and so on. So what we're also doing is, again, we're marketing all of this. We're pushing this. We're letting people know you've got to read aloud to these children. So when these books get to the homes, parents, grandparents, whoever they are, have to read these books to the kids. And then the other thing is allowing them independent reading. Even if a child I have a new grandnephew. I just love him. He lives down in Texas, but he's about a year and a half. And he just sits there sometimes with his books. He reads them to his dinosaurs, but even him just doing that independently. And when they really can read, when they really do start to read, you need that independent time because you have to comprehend what you're reading. If someone's always reading it to you, you never stop and think, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean to the world around me? What is a cat? What is a dog? What is grass? You start to figure that out and attach it to the world around you. I could go on and on about this, but this is why we're doing it. So literacy is a huge push for us. We're putting a lot of emphasis on this. It's our main initiative, and we just want our community to be a community of readers because reading leads to obviously finishing school, graduating from high school, hopefully going on to either trades, learning the trades, joining a union, being part of going on to college, and then having a career, a work career. It increases your level of earnings. It keeps people out of poverty. It lessens crime rates. I mean, it is just foundational to what we do in this community, and it's going to take all of us. So that's why I'm so excited that we connected with HANNA and the program she's doing, this reading program in the schools. We're really looking forward to working with her more on that.
That's really cool. You nailed it. That's exactly what we needed to hear. And oddly enough, not ironically enough, there's a book called The One Thing that Gary Keller and Jay Papasan wrote. I forget who the co-author was. The One Thing. It sounds to me like you either read that book or you encountered someone who imparted that theory, that principle into your organization. The book boils down to really one sentence, and the sentence is, what is the one thing that I can do that by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing that really what's the priority? What is really the true one priority that we should be focusing on to make everything else easier or unnecessary? And by focusing on reading, because not to get all crazy political, but if all you're listening to is to the echo chamber of our media and mass media and social media and all that stuff, you hear a lot of the word privilege these days. And what is the real privilege in the American culture? Real privilege, in my opinion, is homes that have a father or a father figure, and homes that have books in them and that actually get used and read. If you have those two things, that has nothing. You'll notice that has absolutely nothing to do with race, gender, culture.
Yeah.
It's about the one thing. And I'm really, really excited that you guys are tackling this the way that you are, because we do have enough things distracting us in this world. So
absolutely. Well, and our newest thing, and I think we're going to be doing it a lot with the rivets, and it might be on our signage out there, is 20 minutes a day. Read 20 minutes a day.
Great goal.
And even if you can't hit 20, get 10. Even if you're in the car and you're driving them to school, have them read the signs. Or if they're sitting there eating their cereal, read the box, and you're absolutely right. This is not about race. This is not even about East Side, West Side. And we serve all of Winnebago County, by the way. I've had parents who have their master's degree who are like, oh, I know, I forget to read to my kids at the end of the day. They're just dragging. And all the way to the single mom with 3 jobs who doesn't have the time. And so that's why we really want to infiltrate the community and do things like story times and providing books. And we're going to start a YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll get Dolly on there a couple times reading those books out loud. So even if the parents are just swamped, they can, the child can sit down and have the book read. So yeah, parents are doing the best they can. And we know that from birth to 5, if those kids have basic skills, like they know their alphabet, they know their right hand from their left hand, they can make a silly, stupid joke, just basic things. When they get to those kindergarten doors, our teachers in our schools will take them. They will progress them year by year by year. Research shows us that. So we've got to do our part as a community to support all of our parents and all of our preschools, our daycares, everybody, so that when those kids get to those doors, the schools will take them, and we will be a very successful community. So who wrote that book, The One Thing?
Gary Keller, Keller. Yes.
Okay.
So
we are working with a gal by the name of Dr. Karen Walker. She is a professor at Rockford University. She is a literacy dynamo, and it is just in her blood. And so it was kismet that we met her, and she is consulting with us, and she is taking us. And she's the one who said 2 impact areas: read aloud, personal independent reading. And then if you can get the parents involved, dynamite. That is like the triad. So Dr. Walker?
The name rings a bell. I don't know that I've met her yet, though. So
you want her on. She is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you met a strong advocate in this young lady named Hannah. So Hannah, tell us a little bit about what the Rivets are doing to kind of push this whole initiative forward.
Yeah, so my first big task that I was given when I was given my promotion was to come up with a free reading program for local schools and students to enroll in. So basically, we would be providing free tickets to a Rivets game for students completing their reading logs and achieving their bases, basically. So it's based off of a baseball diamond. Schools can sign up for either an 8-week or a 4-week program. We're pushing more towards the 4-week program right now. But each week is going to represent one, or each base is going to represent 1 week, and it can either be books read in a week or minutes read total in a week. Most of the schools have done minutes just because that's better for them. But usually they stick around, like what Julie said, like around that 20 minutes is what we suggest and what I've been pushing towards. And a lot of schools are very happy with that. They said that that's a realistic goal for their students. So they want to go forward with that. Once they achieve their home run and complete the program after the 4 weeks, they get 2 free Rivets game tickets for one of our first 6 games. And then we're going to have designated nights for each school to come out before the game each night. I'm also in charge of all of our pregame ceremony stuff. I'm going to have a pregame parade with all of the students and their teachers and principals, and kind of just celebrate them in front of, an entire baseball stadium. And obviously, like, these little kids think that our stadium is the same as Wrigley Field, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So they don't know the difference, which is great. But either way, they think it's cool. I've actually just started getting back some of the reading log forms recently, and the involvement is just, it's hindering a little bit, but they want to do it. Like, the kids are just we just need to motivate the kids more to do it. So the plan for next year is bringing, possible, like, more staff members out to go read to schools and everything like that. We did that at Olson Park Elementary a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it's been really fun. I have just over 9,000 students enrolled right now. My goal is 10,000, but I think for my first year and getting almost, or getting just over that 9,000 mark, and if I hit 10,000, I'm going to say that that's a really big accomplishment.
You need a party. You hit 10,000. It's party time.
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's been really awesome getting to work with the schools, the principals and different teachers and staff members. It's just been wonderful. And they think what I'm doing, and now that we're partnered with United Way, they think that what we're doing is just mind-blowing and awesome. No team has had a reading program in the Rockford area since the Rockford Riverhawks days, and that was in the early 2000s. So the fact that I got to restart this initiative and actually push way more than what it might have been pushed in the past is just, it's a great feeling. It's a really great feeling.
I'm not gonna gloss over the fact that the Rivets are doing a wonderful thing, and let's face it, their job is to get butts in seats. Okay,
Yep,
that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
We want to see the community come out and check out a Rivets game once or twice or 10 times a year, because it's a lot of fun. It's not far to drive. It's not expensive to do. And here we are seeing, future possible MLB stars getting their careers started. So it's a really cool thing that you guys are doing. And I think the goals are, when you told me when we talked earlier this week, you already had 9,000 students and active in this program. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was expecting to hear maybe 1,900, maybe 2,000. No, 9,000 are already participating, and it's just the beginning of March.
Yep.
School ain't done yet. When's the first games? When can people start actually using the things that they are getting through the program?
Yeah, so the first 6 games are going to be when those tickets are available for. I'm working with the principals and, like, my point of contact for each school right now to say, hey, like, here's a Google survey of the first 6 games. Pick your top choice, your second choice, and then go all the way down to their, like, last choice. As of right now, I've been able to get everyone their first choice, which is really great. But obviously, if we have more schools sign up, that might become more of a problem. But that, I think, is a really good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
But so basically, I'm going to be sending over certificates to each of the schools. They're just going to be blank. All the teachers will need to do is just fill them in and just sign them, fill in the child's name and then fill out their signature. hand it to them, and then it's going to have instructions on how to redeem that certificate for 2 tickets for one of those first 6 games. They'll have the designated night that's for their school, but if they can't make that night, they'll be able to come to any of those first 6. So I'm also now doing ticket sales again. So I'm doing 3 jobs now, which is great. But so I'm going to be their point of contact for if, whenever families are ready to purchase or, ready to get their tickets and everything. And then if they need to purchase additional tickets, I'll also be able to help them. We've been doing a little bit of back behind the scenes work on our ticket office, like website and everything, to figure out, okay, how can we do this? So Xander, our new VP of ticket sales, has been a wonderful help, and also an old colleague of mine, which is great. So we've been kind of figuring out, like, how can we make this work that's like good on the ticket side, but like also can we do this like online as well? So we're looking at possibly doing a claim online, but we're working through that right now. So, but we're really excited. I just got my first reading logs back, and it's a really cool feeling to go pick up a big folder full of reading logs that are just signed with, all of them are signed with either like, there's pencil, there's pen, there's crayon for some of them too. And I just love being able to say that, because the kids got to say like, the kids got to fill it out. So they chose whatever whatever writing utensil they wanted. And a lot of them were crayon, which I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Love it. Love
it's
it.
been great.
Well, even if, you get 2 free tickets and you grab a couple other friends, getting 4 seats for the price of 2 already is a good deal. That's great. But if anything else you can make to happen would be great too.
So banking on that, here's a couple things I wrote down. I think this is very important. First of all, you cannot ask for a better location for the Rivets Stadium. All points you can get to it. It's amazing. The parking lot's huge, by the way, too. There are no bad seats in the place. It's just plain good fun. Great food, the nachos, the hot dogs, great food. It really is good food for ballpark food. I mean, ballpark food is good because it's typically very expensive. It's not that expensive there. Also, a safe environment. I've been to many games when the kids were younger. They weren't the Rivets. I believe they were the Rangers.
Aviators.
Aviators. Before that, the Riverhawks. Then there were it was Road Ranger Stadium is what it was. But anyway, Riverhawks is what it was. You can let your kids wander around in a safe environment. That is, and when you're a mom and a dad and you're watching the game, eating your popcorn, just kicking back, there's no better.
You can see everything. You can see the concourse all the way around, no matter where you're seeing.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes. And you can't just wander outside because they're like, oh, where are you going? You leave, you're not coming back. That'll scare the life out of any 10-year-old. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Fun for the whole family. You can family friendly. You're not going to have to worry about going to a comedy club where someone's throwing out F-bombs or whatever, or watching something on TV and it's like, oh, hey, well, cover your ears, kids. And then think about it this way. You want to go see a movie with the kids, you're going to drop down $50-$60, and it doesn't create that many memories. You're going to forget most of that movie before you hit the parking lot exit. But with a baseball game like this, for these 5, 7, 10, 12-year-olds, even for guys like myself, lasting memories, because you can get a foul ball. You can get an autograph. You could see them and say, I knew them when 10 years ago we went to a Rivets game. He was the starting shortstop or whatever. So those are just a few things that were on my mind. I'm done. I'll shut up.
Yeah, you're good.
It's exciting.
One of our big selling points to right now our ticket department, including myself, is starting to sell to groups. So all kinds of companies and stuff like that, we're starting to sell to them. And one of our big selling points is by the way, our pricing works for just even regular tickets, like group tickets, just in our seating bowl. It averages about $3 an hour for high class and really good entertainment. Where else can you go for for about $3 an hour for entertainment? You can't go to the movies. You can barely even get a meal from McDonald's anymore. You cannot, right? You cannot, there's not much that you can find that is going to cost, cost that little, but be so entertaining as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So I got a question in the
Absolutely.
chat, and this is kind of where I want to wrap up before we get into our trivia with Tom here real quick. People are asking how they can get involved. Is there a volunteer opportunity? Is there, obviously I already mentioned the fact that up in the corner there's a QR code for donations. If anyone would like to donate to the United Way of Rock River Valley, check out that little QR code. It should take you right to the website that can show you what donation opportunities you have available to you there. But when it comes to like volunteering or beyond donating actual cash, is there anything that you guys can add? Is there something, Julie, that you can throw in there as far as a volunteer opportunity?
Yeah, we are, and I saw that in there. There was an author and stuff, and I literally have to look on my phone for our phone number. But so please call us. I see someone said, how can a children's author get involved? Love what you're doing. Our office number is 815-968-5400. And so call us, ask for Julie or Jessica. Either one of us can help you, or go to our website. I think it's put up there. United Way. We also have a microsite, United for Literacy. So check that out as well. But and I just, a couple of reminders what the Rivets are going to do for us. We've been talking to them and they've just been fabulous. Hannah and, like she said, her boss, Steve. We're going to have tables there. We're going to be signing people up for Dolly Parton. We are going to do some book drives because I know after the kids are gone, right? Everybody's got 1 million books, and we'd love to get those so we can get them into other kids' hands. We might even do a box if somebody out there is creative and wants to build a box that could set out at the Rivets Stadium. Not too big. We've learned you can't have this massive box because then you can't pick it up because it gets so heavy. But something that we could, that people could just on an ongoing basis just drop off there. That would be really amazing. So I don't want to take up too much time. And we are building those. We are going to be doing story times, and that's what's going to be on our microsite too. Story times, looking for volunteers. We also support the website called wevolunteer.org. Okay. And so if people want to volunteer there, be patient with us. We literally kicked this program off in September. So we are still building this. It's, it's the proverbial, the plane's going down the runway and we're building it. But cool things we're doing with Rivets and other partners, but we are so grateful for them and just want to applaud them for what they're doing and how they are showing up in the community. And yes, it's about baseball and getting butts in the seats, but they want to do it for families and for our community. And so way to go, Hannah.
Thank you.
You're knocking it out of the park for your first job.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you, Julie.
Very.
All right, Julie, I need to know which airline is building them as they're driving away. I need to know which plane's not.
It's
what is it? The 737s that aren't doing well? It's not one of those.
No. The doors
Okay,
all work
right,
on
good.
this plane, so we're okay with that.
You will be safely on the plane. So yeah.
No.
That's okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
All right, Tom, we are ready for some trivia. Tom's triple trivia for our show for today.
Okay, Hannah, I apologize in advance. Before I realized you were old enough to be my granddaughter, I made up these questions kind of geared towards Julie and Greg, because in the pregame warm-up, as we were like getting ready and throwing the ball around, I realized all of us were late 50s, maybe even early 50s. Yeah, maybe. Anyway. So I apologize, but there's one question for sure that you probably will be able to answer. So question number 3 is for Hannah alone, and then you guys can jump in. And question number 2, Gregors, is from the other night, so you cannot
see if I
answer
remember it.
All right. You'll remember it. All right. So question number 1, in the 1970s sitcom Happy Days, don't worry, Julie, it's a different one. Richie and Joni had an older brother who only appeared in a couple of episodes before mysteriously disappearing. He went off to college and he was never heard from again for the most part. They did mention his name a few times. What was his name?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I was so worried I was going to be embarrassed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh no. I was
Okay.
We were connecting. I was feeling it. I knew you were going to answer it correctly. Greg, did you know that?
No.
I have the lie meter.
No,
going.
I did not remember that one at all. Not at
Okay,
all.
very good. Well, Julie is halfway
Ooh,
to a
oh,
trophy.
man.
She's halfway there.
As a group, we got
Okay,
1 point,
question-
guys. Good job.
Oh, I love how you do that. Yeah, as a group. Sure, why not? All right, here we go. Question number 2. Who was the creator and the voice of Kermit the Frog from 1955 till he passed away in 1990? And Hannah, if you know this one, you can answer it. Julie, of course, you can answer it too. Greg, you can't.
Was it the guy who did all the Muppets?
He was the creator of not only Kermit the Frog and yes, all the Muppets.
Oh, I know people out there are screaming this name at me.
Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed that I don't
Telepathically send you the
even
name.
have an idea, honestly.
That's okay.
How about you, Hannah?
James, could you bring me a water, please? James, thank you. Sorry.
You know, the funny thing is, when he died in 1995, Hannah, I'm guessing you were not even
Nope,
born
I was a
yet,
2000s
right?
baby.
I heard you say James.
2000s,
It
wow.
was Jim.
1990,
Jim. Starts with an A. Jim.
Daniel's trying to help us. He's really close, but it's not
Ooh.
right.
Oh,
Jim
come on,
Henson.
Dan,
Oh.
you know better than that.
Oh, Henson.
You're not
Henson.
supposed to offer help.
We'll blame that on.
Yeah, except Dan misspelled.
We'll blame that on
That's
fat
okay.
fingers.
I'll talk to you about that later.
I've done that before.
Okay.
Jim Henson, yeah, Henson.
Good job.
I didn't
Dan, you're
even see
officially
that, Dan.
sanctioned. You're not
Thank you.
supposed to help.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I tell you what, you want a great
Okay.
friend? That guy right there. He's a great friend.
he the
He's one
one
of my
from
absolute
Tulsa?
best friends.
He's in Tulsa.
Wow.
He is from Tulsa. He's living on
Nice.
Tulsa time right now. All right, here we go. Final question up for grabs for everybody but Greg, because Greg's going to know this one. So, sorry, Greg. In Paul Simon's 1975 song, how many ways did he give us to leave your lover? Hannah, you get first crack at this because I'm pretty sure, I know Greg knows it. No help.
Slip out the
How
back.
many
Eric
ways to
left.
leave your lover?
How many ways to leave your lover? It was a 1975 song, but it's very, very popular.
Oh God, I know. Like I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but I know as soon as I hear the answer, I'm going to be like, "Of course it was that."
Yeah, so they're going to slip out the back,
Plan,
Jack,
Stan.
make a new plan, Stan. No need to be coy, Roy. Just listen to
50
me.
ways.
Hop on the bus.
50
Guys,
ways.
yes! Did you get it, Hannah?
Julie threw it out there.
Oh, Julie did. Oh,
You did
okay.
the
All
time.
right. That's
That's
fine.
okay.
She just wanted me to stop
Yeah,
singing.
no,
All right. So you know what,
What?
Julie?
Oh,
You get
sweet.
the trophy today.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'm going to try to send it through the computer.
Okay.
Let me know if you get it, okay?
I did. Thank you.
Did you get it?
I grabbed it.
Oh, wow. That's funny because I still have it.
Ah,
Oh, I think I
You
ruined the
did.
bit, didn't I?
Wonderful.
Yes, I even
Wonderful
tried to
job.
help
All
you.
right. Ladies, thank you for participating. No, you're great. You're great. That's fine.
That worked out very, very
That
well.
all worked out well.
I think we did pretty good on trivia today. So before we let you ladies go, is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything we didn't ask you about that you wish we would have asked you about today? Whether it's about your organization or you personally, we enjoyed getting to know you both. So is there anything that we didn't ask that you're like, if you would have asked me, I would have told you this, or I would have liked to have talked a little bit about that. Anything jump into your mind?
I have something.
Okay, Hannah.
If there are any teachers out there, any school administrators that are still interested in signing up for the reading program, please go to our website, the Rockford Rivets website. Under the community tab, it'll talk about the Little Rivets reading program. That's what it's officially called. There's a form there for teachers or school admin to sign up. I will get back to you on as soon as Monday, as soon as I get back in the office. And I would love to set up times to meet with you and talk to you about more about the program and what more it entails. But I just want to get more kids in front of books, obviously. So
That's awesome.
very
Very
big
good.
help, and very big shout out to Julie. Thank you for taking a chance on me and my program. I'm really blessed to be working with you guys, and I can't wait to grow our partnership even more in the future.
Hannah, I feel like your mom. I'm so proud of you. I really, or your grandma, one or the other.
Well, I was going to say, I went grandpa. You come on now.
My youngest,
think,
my youngest
I am
son is
older than
Hannah's
you,
age, so
that's
I'm sticking
okay.
with the dad zone. That's where I'm sticking.
Perfect.
Jesus,
All right,
I
fine.
would say I want to
My youngest son's 31,
say along with that, obviously participate, and obviously you can give to us. We always want your money, but we more than that, we want you to read to the littles in your life. And again, 20 minutes a day. It's not a lot. You can figure it out. Think about that cuddling time before bed. It's a perfect time to do that. So please, please, please do as much as you can. And if you only get 5 minutes in, that's okay. It's a win. Don't beat yourself up. If you miss a day, that's okay. Do it the next day. But just really try to make it part of your family's, the fabric of your family's daily lives. I'm not trying to be a commercial there. What was that?
That's a really good point, because it's just like exercising. You're not going to go out and run a marathon. You're not going to go and exercise for even half an hour off your first time. You got to go and start somewhere. And if that involves 90 seconds of push-ups and sit-ups, you started an exercise program. Good for you. So make it happen and get healthy.
And even those first 1,000 days, huge in a child's life. And you can read to a pregnant woman. You can. That baby will hear it. And as soon as they're born, read to them. I know some people feel like that's silly. It's like, no. They are catching on. All their brain, 80 to 90% of our brain is developed by the age of 3. So please, please, please just read and talk and sing and play. I mean, just silly, just narrate your day. Now I'm sitting here, I'm watching this, I'm going to take a drink and, what are we going to do today? Oh my gosh, it's so sunny out. Just words. You will make that, you will change the trajectory of your child's life doing that.
Good point. Very good.
Yeah, and you can even do it in the park too. And maybe that's not a bad idea either. Under a shade tree, reading a book. Okay, we're going to read for 10 minutes and then you can play on the seesaw. The other thing is less phones, less computer games, less this, less that, and more reading, more words. One of the things I did, I'm a tutor at Floating Boys and Girls Clubs, and I taught all my 4th and 5th graders how to do their ABCs backwards. And it's kind of cool. A year later, some of the 4th graders who are now 5th graders say, Mr. Tom, I still remember how to do my ABCs backwards. And I challenge them. I say, okay, let's hear them.
Challenge.
And they rattle them off.
Very fun challenge.
It really is. It really is.
Well, ladies, thanks again for carving out time to be on with us today. And we look forward to catching up with you this summer out at a Rivets game. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go Rivets.
Yeah, thank you so
much.
Right. Thank you, guys.
And there goes Julie and Hannah filling us in on all things United Way and Rockford Rivets. And I'm not kidding. We got to get out to a Rivets game this summer at some point. And I'm sure our INCROWD group is going to be out there, our INCROWD networking group, which just had a wonderfully successful February meeting at the Park Lanes in Loves Park. We were a part of the NAMI trivia night, Tom, and you did a great job with that. So congratulations on helping them pull off a really awesome event. How did you feel about everything went on Thursday night?
I thought it went well.
Hi, Joann.
I know there were a couple things that could have been different. Hi, Joann. The crowd was loud, and I expect that. Next time a crowd like that, I'm probably going to bring both of my good speakers.
I'm still
just because it would
50 ways
overpower
to
a little
leave
more.
your lover.
I inadvertently threw Kurt under the bus. I'm going to go in and apologize to him. I said, well, I was hoping to set up over by the dartboards. That's where I wanted to set up because it would have given me more coverage. That's what I wanted to do. Where I was, it was tough for people to hear. So, and I inadvertently threw Kurt under the bus. I'm going to have to apologize to him because I don't think he even took it at that. No. Maybe he did. I don't know. But I really didn't want to be where I was.
I think the only team that had a real struggle was that one way in the back. Nikki's team way in the back was the one that had the toughest time hearing. But I think they heard everything okay. It was just a little.
I'm sure they did. I had asked and I didn't hear any real complaints. But yeah, the night went great. I thought. And maybe the questions were a little too hard. Although the one team got 45 points.
They were right next to the speaker. They were on the speaker, basically, where they were. So.
Yeah, they were. I gave them control over it. I said, if it's too loud, turn it down. If it's too not, turn it up a little bit. So, yeah, you're right. They were right on it. But they're also very, very good trivia players. They play a lot at Oscars, at Chicagoland. It's Old Chicago, which is Chicagoland trivia. Trivia questions are trivia questions. It doesn't matter what the format is. So when you're in that mode, that mindset, But I thought it was great. The turnout was great, and I'm pretty sure Danielle
Linda
was
had a
happy,
great time.
so
She said she had a
that's all that
blast,
really
and
matters.
Dan chiming in with Park Lanes with lots of fond memories of Park Lanes. They had a great time there. The staff, with all the people that were there, they did a good job. So
Yeah, when Dan writes something like that, I've heard the stories. So
as far as quickie shout outs for this week, obviously the INCROWD815 meeting, that really wasn't a meeting. It was a trivia fun time. 2 of our 4 teams landed in the top 3. So kudos to Dr. Sally and his team, and kudos to Nick Nelson from Nexa Mortgage and his team. They did great. I'm not sure about Bart's team from Duraclean, how well they did. I think we beat them with our team Saunders, our Area 815 team. But we had a good time.
Yeah. And what place did you guys come in? 3rd?
Oh, my team? Oh, we were 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sally's team got a trophy, and Nick's team got the 2nd place trophy. So they had a good time. They had a very, very fun time. Thanks to Linda from Mosaic for being a part of my team. Thanks for Riley O'Neill from WROK from coming out and hanging out with us. That was a lot of fun too. Good to see him. And thankfully we ended early enough before his bedtime so we could get up early to do his morning show. It's a late night.
Yeah, I kept that in mind.
Wanted to give a quick shout out this week to Rock River Valley, the Rock River Valley Blood Center. They did a big blood drive push in February, and my 8 weeks to donate did fall within February, so I got in there before the end of the month, and they're doing great things over there. Blood supply remains low, so if you can, please get out there and donate. You don't have to wait for a bus to show up at your place of work. You can go out there and you can sign up online, which is easy to do. They've got a great app and an online resource. And if you're time crunched, you can go onto their website, register for your time. Let's say, hey, I can go right after work and I get out of work at 3:30 or something like that. So sign up at 4:00. And that morning, the morning of your donation before you go in, you can do most of the questionnaire online. And that saves you 10, 15 minutes right there. So you can be in and out of the blood center in well under an hour, sometimes less than 40 minutes if you've done the questionnaire online first. So check that out. Donate if you're able and if you can. The other shout out I wanted to do for today. Casa and the Ski Bronx were on last week's show, but nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. And what happened basically was somewhere between the platform that I'm using here on my screen and Restream and the social media network, something didn't connect properly. So even though everything looked great to us and sounded great to us, none of it recorded properly and none of it got webcast, which was a bummer because we had a really good conversation. Just so
tape though.
That's what I thought would happen, because what's happening right now as we do this show live right now, I'm checking over here on my Instagram feed just to see that that's on and that's working, and I'm getting
and the scroll.
Yeah, and
so.
over.
I mean,
we got some comments early in last week's show that said, "Hey, your YouTube channel isn't working right," and "Hey, the Facebook feed, I can't hear you," and the video was wrong. The video showed my face and Tom's face, but we were frozen, and all the other stuff was happening except the audio. So
I hope I wasn't frozen in a bad position.
So
yeah.
When I went to the platform, which is Restream, and I'm not bashing on Restream. I don't know that this was they did investigate this and they really couldn't come up with a reason why this happened. When I went and closed out the show and went to download the recording thinking, hey, Restream recorded this and it should be fine. Well, it showed exactly what happened on YouTube and on Facebook. So it was totally unusable. So Monday morning, I had Jim Hudson on from the Winnebago County CASA. He jumped on with me Monday morning. We did a segment with just him. That is up there as show number 202. And then I had Emily come back from the Ski Bronx. She's listed up there right now as show number 203. We talked about the Ski Bronx water ski show team, their upcoming season, and their desperate need to raise $50,000 right up front this year because their main dock, that really big platform that they launch most of their acts from during the show, it has to be completely replaced.
Yeah.
And that was an old dock. You got to figure that wood that's been sitting out there for years and years and years. It only lasts so long.
Yeah. Going through the winters, being in the water all
it's
the
a
time.
mess.
So my great comment of we need decades didn't
Decades,
go out there in the
decades didn't
the
get out to the
universe.
universe, other than with Steve and Jim and Emily and myself. So, and Joann. So go
right.
back if you can over to Spotify. Episode 202 and 203 are posted up there, and had a nice chat with them this week. So thanks to them for carving out extra time to be back on a second time and get their message out. And the last shout out for this week is Starlight Theater auditions have started. I did mine last night. Next weekend, they're doing auditions again. And from my understanding, sometime about a week from this Monday or Tuesday, we'll start getting notified who's been cast in roles and who's been cast in ensembles. I'm hoping to get put in one of the shows, one of the 4 main shows this summer. I don't care which one. But I had a good time auditioning last night, although I'm not very pleased with myself. I could have done a lot better. So, and I met some people who were auditioning for the very first time at Starlight Theater. Very, very exciting to meet new people in our community, or people that have been here a long time and just never gotten out to audition and put themselves out there and sing a song. You sing 16 bars of a song, which is not that much. You dance 16 bars of a dance, which honestly is not that much, that was my biggest disappointment. I thought I could have done better at that. I'm not much of a dancer, but I should have nailed that better. And then they have you read part of like 1 page or a page and a half from a script. So you're kind of acting with the directors. They do the other parts and you read the part that they want you to read. And that part I usually do pretty darn well on. I can act. I'm a decent singer. My dancing is, I'm not going to be a triple threat ever in my lifetime. So I'm okay with that. So Starlight Theater, there may still be openings. I bring that up because you may still have a chance to audition next weekend. There may still be openings for you.
I saw something that they were looking for young kids too.
You know,
Teens.
they advertised that so well that they're overwhelmed with kids auditioning for Beauty. They're doing Beauty and the Beast in August. In the years past, they've done a show they called the Star Littles show. And this year they're calling it something else, Star Bright or Star Future, something like that. I forget what they're calling it, but they're doing a show where the cast will be aged 8 to 18 only. No adults other than maybe a couple of 18-year-olds. Everyone else will be under the age of 18. And they have room for maybe between 50 and 60 kids in that cast. Last check, there was 130 auditions.
Wow.
130 kids auditioning for that show. So Newsies is also one of the shows this summer. And that one might have a few kids in it, but not a whole lot. Not as many as the Beauty and the Beast cast will, for sure. So excited to see.
It's also at Rockford University.
This weekend.
Weekends.
The next 2 weekends.
Yes.
The studio, the local outfit called the Studio.
Kids, right? The youth.
The youth theater. There's a CYT, which is a big one, and then the Studio, which is a pretty big one too. So they're doing Beauty and the Beast at Rockford University this weekend and next weekend.
Rockford College, but
those are my shout outs for the week. Anything else you want to shout out this week?
I'm thinking ahead for next Saturday. I don't know if you mentioned this or not, but the Sock Monkey Mania is next Saturday at Midway Village. Now, is that right? Midway Museum?
Midway Village, yeah.
Yeah, no, Midway Village and Museum Center,
That's next, only one day, just Saturday. And I mean, Rockford is so famous for our sock monkeys that we should all get out there and make a sock monkey in honor of Rockford.
You know what's really interesting? I see sock monkeys all over the place. And I picked one up the other day and made in China. Wait a minute. This is a Nelson knitting thing. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. They lost the patent on it
Oh,
because you can only go, what,
Oh.
75 years or something? And that's why now I think if you reapply, but who from the Nelson Knitting Company is going to do that? Maybe somebody from the family lineage could have done it, but they probably made billions off of it. They're like, you know what? Let everybody have it. So now they're being made en masse
Oh.
by anybody and everybody.
I
So it's no longer
a homemade
a Rockford
sock
thing. I mean,
monkey is the way to go, though. Not one.
yeah, you want to make it yourself. You want to make it
oh,
yourself.
absolutely.
I mean,
And
Yeah.
at Midway Village, I'm gonna. They have kits made up that you can buy, and you can. There's people that will help you, and you can make your own sock monkey while you're there. So, I think it's wonderful. So,
as always, GoRockford.com is the place to go to check out all things happening around the Rockford region. So check out what's going on at GoRockford.com. There's a link right there to the studio. Rockford doing Beauty and the Beast. The Women's History Month kickoff at Midway Village Museum Center. All that stuff is happening right there at that awesome website.
And by the way, thank you, Lynn, for your nice comment. It was really nice actually putting a name with a face, because Lynn's been on before, and I've seen her and all of that, but never actually met her. So, and
well, do we
so
have
anyway,
a PAWS
pretty
Humane
cool.
Society Pet of the Week that we want to focus on this week? Can we go visit one of your
Well-
cages, or what do you want to do, Joann?
I know, and I know you. Last week, I got distracted and never did send you a pet of the week.
That's right. That was the first week in like a long time. We hadn't had an official Pet of the Week.
But I did have my dog on the show, on the podcast. I wanted to talk about. I'm going to switch around here. This is kind of unusual for PAWS. We took in 3 elderly cats. Oh, and they're hiding. Oh, there's one
Yeah.
of them. So
I'll take 'em all.
19, 13,
Let's-
and 10.
So they're all in double digits.
The cage.
19-year-old cat.
19?
Wow.
I know, I'm sorry. Oh, and
How
there's-
does that happen, Joann? How does
okay,
anybody?
here's Mr. Knight.
Was
The
it like the owner
owner
died
is
or
in the
something?
hospital. I'm trying to get this straight. This is the 19-year-old. Look at him coming out to greet me.
Oh, wow.
19, 13, and 10. This might be the 19-year-old. But these are the cats I wanted to talk about because, I mean, it's very unusual for an organization to take cats in that are really unadoptable. Because who is going to adopt a cat that's at the end of their lifespan?
And yet every time, very often, you guys end up finding someone who's willing to step up and say, hey,
Well,
I
and
can take
that's
care of this.
The owner, I think Tom did ask a question. The owner is actually, I don't want to put him in his grave yet, but he's in the hospital and he isn't supposed to be making it. And the person who was caring for them had been caring for them over a month, and he was allergic to cats and they were not getting the love and attention that they had in their previous life.
Completely understandable. Completely understandable.
So these 3 cats were all
Yes.
together in the
Yes.
same house. Is that correct? Okay. So are they a bonded,
I'm not
triple
sure
bonded
what
pair?
the plan is. I think they would like to keep a couple of them together, but keeping all 3 might be impossible.
Right.
But you can see it. I mean, they were very friendly to me. I didn't look at their names beforehand. And I think the oldest one is, and I mean, 19 is quite elderly for a cat. So I can say the owner either
Yeah.
had good luck or, because I really, 12 to 13 is basically the lifespan of a cat.
Oh, don't say that. My barn.
Just being real, man.
And
Just being real.
I know.
But these are, and I will send a picture of one of them to you, Greg, so you can post that with their
All
name.
Sounds good.
But I'm proud when we step up and do something like this for PAWS, because these are cats that really were desperate for a home. And even if they spend the rest of their life with us, they will be loved and cared for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing one of them is the mama cat, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
The two blondes, I don't know if they're blonde, the two white look very similar, but I don't know that for a fact, so I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
I thought there was one male and two females. So that's my pitch for today.
There's our plea. Help these ones
If
out.
someone is interested in fostering, I think especially the 19-year-old, they're not really thinking she is going to do well in the shelter.
Right.
But the other ones, 10 and 13, could be okay here. So,
All right.
and sorry, I didn't send a pet of the week last week.
That's okay. Well,
you're kind of busy, Joann. It's okay.
you were busy, and I got distracted by our technical issues too.
And it's March 2nd, so we have no adoptions yet in March.
All right. So Saturday's today. So guess this is a good day to kick off the season. Get some good adoptions going.
I know, Tom, or Greg, I finally read your email about doing a pet of the week, and I don't know how, without doing a tour, I don't always read my Google.
We got a showdown in the community room, looks
Yeah,
like. Look out. Who's the boss? I'm the boss.
Oh, that was a cheap shot right there.
Don't look away. I will take you out.
And I love cats where they will all of a sudden be done. They're like, oh, was I fighting? No, that wasn't me.
You go into what they think. Do they think, well, I guess I won, I'm done? Or like, I guess I can't win, I'm done.
He was too easy an opponent.
There's our loudmouth macchiato. I wanted to just quick, I know I'm making you dizzy. Our number here.
February cats. 26.
26 and dogs were 5.
Good month for 29 days in February.
They didn't change. They erased it, but they didn't make March. And we've got 3 dogs down here that are Noel, Franklin, and Eleanor.
Franklin looks like Veda. What a cutie.
It's a puppy,
Franklin
though.
looks like my dog.
Eleanor,
Very
I don't know
similar.
if that's spelt right, but Eleanor is recovered from heartworm, had heartworm treatment, and now is ready for adoption.
All right. Well, 815-299-PAWS, as always, is the number to call if you would like to check out all things PAWS. www.pawshs.org for the link to the pet finder and all of the photos. All right, let's do this. Our current race to 10 has Tom out front by a score of 1-0. Tom did win our last race to 10. And this week's big number of the week, not a very big one. This isn't going to get you too excited. 528. 528. Our answer this week is wedding or Wendy's.
28 ways to leave your lover.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's the longest song Paul Simon ever wrote.
528 ways to leave your lover.
He's still singing it. All right, so Joann, I got Tom's answer. Wedding or Wendy's? 3, 2, 1, go.
I will go with Wendy's today.
You're going with Wendy's. Tom also going.
We'd have to
with Wendy's.
Oh,
we'd have to add new verses. Pick up the garbage, Greg.
So there's a new study that just came out that talks about wedding planning habits and behaviors, and it uncovered the most time-consuming parts of the wedding planning process. The average engaged person spends 12 hours per week planning their wedding and finding themselves in wedding planning mode for a little over 11 months. That means 528 hours of planning for the average wedding from engagement day to the big day itself.
so neither of us get a point today.
Neither one of you get a point.
No
Finding
one
the
gets a
perfect
point.
venue is the number one time-consuming activity, with a quarter of those surveyed admitting this was the process's most challenging and tedious part. And I always tell people when I DJ'd weddings as a, more than a hobby, when I was doing it a lot, and I still give that advice to couples today when I talk to them about their wedding planning. Before you hire your DJ, I'm glad you're talking to me, and I'm glad you're talking to your caterer, but before you hire either of those two, you have to have your venue. You have to have your venue.
Yeah.
Big reason of that is because sometimes the venue you choose and that you want to use will insist on you using their preferred caterer or their preferred caterer list. So guess what? You found your perfect venue. You already booked a caterer, and your venue says, "Oh, here's our preferred list. You can choose one of these three."
For football, we only had certain places that we could choose to cater from.
Yeah. Tabala's got great connections for you, right? So you were very, I was very happy with your caterer. I hope you were, because they did a wonderful job.
I
Dan,
haven't had a board meeting yet, so
we're not talking about Bridezillas today, Dan. That's a whole nother conversation. Wendy's, by the way, is in the news this week. Did you hear what they were planning on doing?
I don't understand it, actually.
They're calling it AI-enabled menu changes. $20 million investment into digital menus across the United States. Some high-tech changes they plan to implement by the year 2025. Basically, what they're going to here's what they're going to end up doing, just so you know, because there's a lot of confusion. Okay, some people call it surge pricing. The truth of the matter, and this is what I believe is what it's going to happen during prime time drive time. Drive times of the day, mornings, afternoons, early evenings, when a lot of people are on the roads, you're going to see the average, you're going to see the real price of what it costs to buy a meal, right? All the stuff on the meal. But in slower traffic times, they're going to lower the prices and advertise that fact. Hey, if you come today during, from 1 to 3, yet that burger is going to be 25% off, and your whole meal is you're going to save 30%, something like that. That's what they're going to be advertising.
As long as they're not jacking up the price during the busier times, as long as they're lowering it during the slower time,
angle people are taking is, they're going to surge the prices during drive times. No, they're going to go back to their normal prices during busy times. Now, I say all that. Okay. Maybe they will. And what are you going to do about it? You're going to drive away.
But they're trying to get more traffic during their slow times by lowering the price.
Okay, so here's what I think. Outside of the whole AI pricing thing, let's do this.
Let's get the customer service
right first. Let's just serve me. Don't make me wait 15 minutes for whatever. And if I order a Frosty, there's no other kind of Frosty other than chocolate. And then when they ask me, what kind of Frosty do you want? I have to roll my eyes and go, chocolate. I won't do it disrespectfully. They can't see me roll my eyes. Chocolate. And then they give me a vanilla. And I want to throw it at them.
I will say this about our local Wendy's restaurants. I've been very happy with their customer service and the speed that they deliver food through their drive-thrus. I don't frequent a lot of fast food drive-thrus in town. But when I do go through Wendy's, I would say they're a top 2 when it comes to speed and accuracy.
Speed, I have no problem with. Accuracy, I have no problem with. But some of the Some of the people at the window are so unfriendly and
You got to put the
snarky
friendly
and
people in the
nasty.
window there, restaurant
That's-
owners.
Yeah, make them clean up the kitchen or the dining room or pick up trash outside
I'm
or
not
whatever.
sure what they're thinking by that, but anyway, next week on the show, we've got Nikki Tibbetts from the Rockford Area Pregnancy Care Center. They got a big event coming up
Yes.
in April we want to talk about. And one last little plug,
Mhm.
Hannah, who we just saw on the show today, and her boss, the president of the Rivets, Steve Malliott, they're going to be presenting at the Rockford Linked Lunch this Friday at the Machine Shed. That's 11:30 to 1. Second Friday of every month, we meet with the Rockford Linked Lunch group. And every time that we do, there's anywhere from a dozen to 20 or so people that show up and have lunch and get to know some new people and talk about their businesses a little bit and learn something new, which this month is going to be all about the Rockford Rivets and what they've got coming up for the season. Any last minute thoughts, my friends, Tom and Joann?
No, happy Mother's.
Well, don't forget.
Tom wants to
We
throw
have
trivia
some
at me and
trivia.
Joann, so let's go. You got time? You got
that's what
time,
we're doing,
Joann?
right? No?
Yeah, I've got time.
All right, we got time, Tom. So let's go for it.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
Someday I'm gonna make a
Tom's
sound for you.
Trivia. We have Joann Stewart from Central Wisconsin going against
Oh, we're not
Greg Saunders from Southern Wisconsin. Your questions will all be worth 25 points, a chance to make the bonus round, a square to match. Here we go. Pay no
All
attention to the man behind the curtain. All right, here we go. Question number 1. When did the Got Milk campaign begin? Was it 1988
I didn't
or
hear what the question was again.
1993?
Could you repeat the question?
Once again, when did the Got Milk campaign begin? Was it 1988 or was it 1993?
I would say
I'm going 88.
93.
I'm going 88.
Oh, 93 is the correct answer. Ding, 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 ding. Joann wins $25.
Hand it over.
Question number 2. What is the name of this hot sauce given to us from the McElhaney Company?
What?
Yep, the McElhaney Company.
Oh.
What is the name? What is the name of this hot sauce from the McElhaney Company?
Tabasco. Woo!
Tabasco is correct. Greg ties
All
the
right.
match at $25 each. Now, the last one gets a square to match and a chance to play in the bonus round. Here we go. Oh, part of this, this is a 2-part question. The first part we kind of already talked about. What was Rockford originally called when it was before it was Rockford?
Yeah.
You guys know the answer to this. It was said a little while ago, so I'm going to ask you a different question.
Midway.
And can you tell me how it got
It was
its name?
midway between Chicago and Galena.
Midway.
Exactly. Okay. So I had that question slated. I wasn't sure about it, so I wrote a second question. And here is that second question. When it was changed to Rockford, how did Rockford get its name?
Well, down by Davis Park is a rocky ford where all the vehicles and what do you call them?
To cross the Rock River.
All the stuff crossed the river there with their livestock and their wagons.
So what are the
wagons.
This
Horse
is
and
certainly
wagons,
a rocky ford, and his wife
Yes.
misunderstood him and thought he said Rockford.
I'm looking for the rocky ford.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You both get that one. So, all right, very good. It was a 2-1 tie for today. 2-1.
We'll call it a draw.
Whatever. 2 out of 3. It's a 2-2 tie. You both get $25, a square to match, and a chance to play in the bonus round, which will take place next week. Here's your trophy, Greg and Joann. There you go, Joann. Oh, wrong way. There you go. And Greg, there you go. Did you get it?
There we go.
Oh, well, no, that was just a ploy. That was just for the advertisers. I pocket the money from the advertisers. I give you the 17-cent trophy. That's what you get every week. All right, Gregors, are we talking some football? There's all kinds of. I brought mom and dad and baby Packer today.
We have to be too brief. I gotta run today, unfortunately. So we'll save the talk for next week.
Fine, Joann, around. We're going to talk some Packer football.
Glad to get your
You're going
exercise
to
in because Greg has to run.
I do have to run. So
make
anyway,
there you go. All right, fine. We're doing.
thanks for
doing
another
Packers
great
next week,
INCROWD
buddy.
815 podcast. Thanks to Julie from the United Way of Rock River Valley and Hannah from the Rockford Rivets for being on with us. Next week, Nikki Tibbetts from the Rockford Area Pregnancy Care Center. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another INCROWD 815 podcast. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.
Yes, go Packers. I got to
815 in crowd.